Konnichiwa everybody, welcome back. Just a bit of a quick video. Just want to run through the weekend just gone. It was Doncaster Gaming Market. First time I'd been, so I was keen to see what it was like really, because I'd heard it was like, you know, the biggest one in the country and all that. So you know, it was good to see it for the first time, and I've got to say I had a great time. It was much bigger than the other ones I'd been to in the past. I did hear a few people say that you know, they put the prices up, which is, you know, it's a bit of a shame. If, you know, way of the world, everything seems to be going up, I suppose. But nevertheless, I can't say for what it was like compared to previous years, but it was mega busy, I thought. And it remained busy throughout the majority of the day, you know, from when I was there anyway. Then it was on till 4, I think. I left about 3:30, and it didn't really get quiet until sort of 3 o'clock. Up to that point, you were struggling to get to the store, to be honest. You know, the constant, you know, horde of people at all the stores, you know, and you were 2 and 3 deep at times trying to get to the front, and it was a bit of a nightmare in that sense. You know, we went and had a break outside for an hour or so, had a bit of fresh air while it hoped it would calm down, which, like I said, it did towards the end of the day. But nevertheless, that didn't stop the enjoyment. It was still an awesome experience, and I've got to say the location is fantastic. Free parking straight at the venue. I couldn't fault that, it was brilliant, and I'd certainly go back again next time it's on. First things first, I think it was great to meet a few new people there who I've not met before. I'm sorry if I miss anybody out. My memory's bloody shocking these days, honestly. It's so bad, it's beginning to worry me. But yeah, I saw a few people for the first time that I'd never seen before. First person I saw was Griffo, who very kindly allowed me to jump the queue, because he was further up the queue than I was. So that was awesome. Cheers, mate. Really enjoyed meeting you. Had a bit of a chat in the queue. Great guy. If you've not looked at his channel, I'll put a link in the description below, as I will to all of these channels I mention if I can. And then we met Nath in the queue. And so we allowed him to queue jump then as well, so he joined us in the queue as well. That's Nath Retro, again another great channel. And then it opened up at 11. I thought it was 10. I got there too early, as it turned out, but nevertheless that got me to the front of the queue, so it worked out all right really. So then once inside, saw quite a few people I'd seen. And then also met for the first time Sean, Retro Games Revived, so it was great to meet you, Sean. Met Pete Fighter 2, so again great to meet you, Pete, for the first time. Not on the tube anymore, unfortunately, but you can catch up with him on Instagram, and he's sometimes on the TNB. So great to meet Pete Fighter. Who else did I meet? I briefly sort of saw David Retro Games played badly. I was hoping to sort of meet up with him later in the day and have a chat with him really, but after the first time I never saw him again, so unfortunately I didn't get to talk to him, which is a shame. So hopefully next time, Dave, I can maybe we can have a bit of a chat, I don't know, but unfortunately that didn't work out yesterday at the weekend, but it is what it is. Like I say, it was so busy, I struggled to find anybody, to be honest. And then I also saw the more celebrity style YouTubers, who I think there were more than I saw, but I did see Callum Retro Ghetto. I was standing at Craig's stall, and I suddenly heard this sort of voice at the side of me. I thought I recognised that voice, but I couldn't put a face, you know, I couldn't think who it was to start with, because it sounded slightly different to, it turned out to be Callum Retro Ghetto, but it sounded different in person than it did on, you know, on YouTube. I suppose everybody does. But anyway, so I'm curious to know if the back of my head ends up on any video he puts out in the future, because he was filming Craig's stall when I was standing there, so possibly the back of my head might make a cameo appearance in one of his videos. That remains to be seen. Then of course I also bumped into some people I'd seen before. There was I talked to Stu first of all, so it was good to see Stu again. Then I saw Dana and Ant on Hidden Chest stall, and who else did I see? Was Liam there as well? I can't remember. Then I saw Eddie and Dylan on Eddie's stall, so great to meet those boys again. And we did pick up some stuff off Eddie, which we'll come to in a minute. Who else did I see? Oh, I saw Daley Retro, so it was great to meet Dale again, but again, so busy, hardly spoke to him at all. I can't think if I saw anyone else. I believe I was told other people were there, but I never saw them. Like I say, it was a needle in a haystack job, it was so busy. So I'm sure there were other people there that I just never got round to seeing or, you know, talking to. So we'll maybe some other time. Right, we'll get on to the pickups now. What I managed to get from the event, and they were all I mean, there were loads of stalls, obviously, but being as I'm more, I mean, I do buy obviously PAL stuff, but generally speaking it's more import stuff I'm looking for, so that's much less prevalent on most of the stalls. However, there were some on some stalls. Japanese Allen didn't seem to be there, unfortunately. They've got a bit on Console Passion, but I couldn't find anything I wanted. And then there was a Sore Thumb stall, which was quite good to be fair, but it was so busy. And all the import was mixed up with all the PAL, and I just couldn't be arsed with it, to be honest. But the stall itself looked great. That's the shop I'd like to get to, really. So all my stuff actually came from 3 stalls, I think. Yeah, I got one from Hidden Chest, which I forgot to put here, to be honest, actually. One moment, I shall return. Right, yes, I got one from Hidden Chest, and that was Dead Angle on the Master System. Now I've got my titles mixed up here. This is like it's an Operation Wolf style game, and you've got a faint outline of your character on screen, but you're basically shooting like Operation Wolf. But it doesn't use the gun, it's pad only, which is, I never understood really, but nevertheless quite a good little game. So it was awesome to pick that up, and it's in lovely condition. So that was my first pickup of the day, I think. Yes, it was. While we're on now, we'll just plug, in 2 weeks time Dana's got his own event coming up, the Black Country Games Fair, which I have mentioned before, but like I say, it's on in 2 weeks time, or a week on Sunday now, which is yeah, Sunday the 26th of February. It's only £2 early bird ticket, or it's free entry after 11 AM, and it's at the Arena Combat Archery Centre, 106A Little Cottage Street, Broyley Hill, DY5 1RG. Like I say, you can book an early bird ticket should you want to. But there are the details. So I'm definitely going to be heading there, and I'm sure there's a few people also going there, and there's quite a few people stalling out, I think. I'm not sure if there are any tables left now if you do want to stall out. But I'm looking forward to that one, because there's a couple of things I saw on Eddie's stall that I didn't buy, which of regret, and so hopefully he's going to bring them there. Right, then the next, my next purchases were off Eddie, I think, actually. I was going to do these in kind of console order, but we might as well do it in like the stores I had them from order. Right, I think that's correct. Yes, right. So, I bought a few off Eddie, predominantly from his bargain bin. Because obviously I'd previously bought stuff off Eddie, as you probably know. So the first one I got, PS1, American PS1 this is, and it's called Bravo Air Race. Now, I've never ever heard of this, to be honest. I've no idea if it came out PAL or Japanese. Possibly not, I don't know. I've never seen it before. And it's basically an aeroplane racing game. Now I will put some footage up, all being well, if my phone hasn't run out of storage, like it did the last time, and I ended up deleting everything I'd recorded. But this seems quite good. All the footage I'm putting up, I've played these very, very briefly because I've had no time. It was basically just put them on to record a bit of footage to include on this video. And it's a very simplistic arcade style aeroplane racer, and to be honest, it was a lot better than I was expecting, and does not seem bad at all, to be honest. So I'm quite pleased with that one, and eager to play a bit more. Because it looks, you know, obviously it's PS1, it's going to look sort of aged, but it looks quite decent. Then the next one we've got, I wasn't sure if I'd got this, so it was a bit of a gamble, but it wasn't an expensive game. But fortunately I hadn't got it, and that's Road Rash Jailbreak. Now I think this is the last Road Rash game they ever made. I could be wrong, but I think it is. Made in 2000. So I think this was after Road Rash 3D and the one on the N64, but I could be wrong. But nevertheless, it's one of the last Road Rash games anyway. I wasn't expecting a great deal, to be honest. But again, a bit like that air race game, it's kind of surprised me. Really quite good. The footage I've put up is on like a flat screen TV, so I'm keen to see what these look like on the CRT, because that should look a lot better. But there seems different sort of missions based events on this, where you're the policeman and you're trying to catch the bad guys. But it's still got the fighting elements like traditional Road Rash. So not bad at all, to be honest. So again, I'm quite keen to play a bit more of that, because it doesn't like Road Rash. None of them are as good as the 3DO original. Right, the next one we got off Eddie. I remember playing this on PAL when it came out, whenever it was. What year did this come out? 98. And it's N2O, or nitrous oxide. Now this is like a tube shooter, very similar to like Tempest, and it's quite a lot more psychedelic than Tempest. It's like Tempest on acid, if you like. I mean, it's not as good as Tempest, but again, I was quite surprised. It's aged quite well, and it still looks all right, and it still plays all right. It's just not as good as Tempest, because I love Tempest, but chuffed to get that back. And again, I'm quite keen to play that a bit more as well, because it is quite psychedelic. So I'm not sure I could play it for long before it start messing with your head. But it's good. I'm definitely pleased I got that back. Right, then I bought this purely for the nostalgia, really, and purely because it was fairly cheap, and it's Blue Stinger on the Dreamcast. Now, this is like a tube shooter, very similar to like Tempest, and it's quite a lot more psychedelic than Tempest. It's like Tempest on acid, if you like. I mean, it's not as good as Tempest, but again, I'm quite keen to play that a bit more as well, because Now this was a launch game on the Dreamcast, and I played it very, very briefly. It's not my kind of thing necessarily. It certainly wasn't at the time. But I was just curious. I'd read people saying, that it's a bit of a cult sort of classic, and there's some big fans of this, and I was just curious to play it again, really. Now, obviously, it's kind of a survival horror type game. So in Japanese, obviously, it's a bit awkward. But you'll see from the footage the kind of game it is. And again, this seems to have held up quite well because it looked quite decent, I thought. But now you can use your phone to translate stuff. I might be able to get somewhere on this. I don't know. So I'm chuffed to have it back, really. Obviously, the PAL version would probably be better for the language, but this is the one I had or remember playing back in the day. So that's why I bought it, really. But it's probably even a guide online I could probably use to get through it these days. Right, now my star purchase off Edu was this one, a PS1 game, Japanese, and it's a Gatchaman game, but it's a one-on-one fighter. What's it called? Tatsunoko Fight, which is basically, like I say, a Gatchaman fighting game, one-on-one beat 'em up. Now, I suppose it's kind of a prequel to the Tatsunoko vs Capcom on the Wii, which is an awesome game, exclusive on the Wii. But I'd never had this before, and when I saw it on Eddie's store, I thought I really quite fancied that. And this looks really good, actually. I'm really quite keen to play more of this. Cracking game. You'll see from the screenshots it still looks good, so I can't wait to put it on the CRT because it's going to look even better. And I used to watch Battle of the Planets when I was a kid, so it's really cool. I'm really chuffed with this. There is a Gatchaman shooting game, which I would like that, but that's a bit more money, unfortunately. But maybe one day. But yeah, this is really cool. So again, because I've got the Wii one, it's nice to get this. It's not necessarily a prequel because it's not made by Capcom or anything. It's a Takara game. But nevertheless, really, really good. I'm chuffed a bit with that. Right, now the last bunch of stuff I bought was from the legendary Craig store, and again, I seem to spend most of my day perusing what was on Craig's store because there's just, honestly, it's like hypnotic. There's so much cool stuff. It's unbelievable. And Craig's a legend. I just thank you, mate, for what you I can't thank you enough, really, for the deal you did me. It's tremendous. Anyway, first of all, he managed to sort me out with a manual for my recent CEX roulette gauntlet on the Master System, which came without the manual. So I now have a manual to complete my gauntlet game, so that's fantastic. But then I've also got these goodies. Now this is not the kind of thing I buy, and I really don't want to go down this rabbit hole purely because I've got nowhere to put them. But they are undeniably fantastic things, and Craig has some amazing examples. No two words of a lie. And I wasn't looking to buy anything like this, to be honest, but then Craig happened to mention it, and it sparked kind of a cog in the back of my mind, because I've been looking for something to fill this gap where I've got this Get Bass game, because it's just hiding wires basically. But I can't find, except that, I can't find anything to fill the space. So I was looking for something a bit sexier than that Get Bass box, because it's not like the sexiest thing in the world. So anyway, we've bought this figurine, which is from Outer Medius, which is a shooter on the Xbox 360 Japanese. Now the box isn't the best box in the world, but it's not bad at all. But look at that. They're amazing, aren't they, these figurines? Just some of the Mai Shirani ones Craig's got are just sensational. Anyway, this does fit here nicely, but unfortunately, as you can see, there's going to be a significant gap. So there's another one, like the set of these. Ideally, I could do with another one, because I think they will just stand there too high. That would be awesome. So I could do with its twin really, but I'm chuffed with that. And like I say, I don't collect figures because I've got nowhere to put them. But nevertheless, I'm pleased with that. So thanks for talking me into it, Craig. Much appreciated. Right, the next one we've got is 12 Stag, which is a Japanese PS2. It's vertical shooter, but you can get this. I've since found out you can get this on PAL, which I didn't know at the time. I don't think it's made by Taito, but it's put out by Taito on the PS2. I can't remember. I did look at it. Who made it? I don't think it was Taito, but nevertheless, anyway, it's a vertical shooter, and it's really not too bad. And I believe it's dirt cheap on PAL, about a tenner. Quite good. It's got a kind of interesting mechanic where you've got a choice of weapons. You can either fire sideways, backwards, or there's like a bomb mechanic where you can fire off a bomb, and that seems to protect you from enemy fire, but it sort of disintegrates, as you'll see in the footage. I mean, by no means is it the best vertical shooter I've ever played, but it's really quite nice. It's not bad at all. And it seems quite playable and not too difficult, which suits me down to the ground. So I'm looking forward to trying that a bit more. Like I say, all these I've only played exceedingly briefly, just to put some footage up there. Now this next one, we've got Ninku on the Saturn, which is a one-on-one fighter. And I'd seen Champion 2D Rob got this quite some time ago, and it's always been in the back of my mind ever since. I've just never got round to it, and then Craig had got it, and one thing led to another, and anyway, I've ended up with it. Now, having played it briefly now, I would have to agree with you, Craig. It's a bit of a turd, to be honest. I'm struggling to find anything positive to say about it. I think the still shots are quite nice, and until you start playing it, it looks quite good. But I don't know, it's really janky how the camera moves about, and the controls, they're really not good. It seems really like, I don't know, it seems like you're playing in treacle. I don't know. Oh, I can't see me playing this again. And I've just watched Nick's video this morning, and he's just picked it up, and he wasn't very complimentary either. And I'd have to agree. It's interesting. Don't get me wrong. It's an interesting curiosity, and it's got weird like 3D backgrounds with 2D characters. It's just a bit strange. But I think if the controls were better, it might be quite good, because it's quite fun. I mean, there's a really weird dude. He's just got like a jock strap on. I don't know if you can pick him up on the camera there. Strange game. Real wacky characters, but it's a curiosity. I can't say any more than that really. Right, this next one, we've got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Dreamcast. Now, to be honest, I thought I'd got this, but it was only when I was doing a Dreamcast collection video the other day. And as I was going through that, I realised I hadn't got this for some reason. I've had it in the past. At some point I must have sold it. I don't remember. But anyway, and then subsequently I deleted the Dreamcast collection video by accident before I uploaded it, so I've got to do it again now. Anyway, Marvel vs Capcom 2. You can't really go wrong with this. Fantastic game. Still looks stunning. Great game to play. You don't need me to tell you how good a Capcom 2D fighter is. I will have put some footage up, I would imagine. But it's a great game. Can't go wrong with it. Right, that brings me on to my last pickup. Again, off Craig. Now this is something I've been thinking about for the past few weeks. It's an area I want to get into. Having sort of grown a bit of a passion for playing shooters. Obviously, there's quite a large selection you can get on the Japanese Xbox 360. Unfortunately, it's region locked, so you need either a Japanese 360 or, you know, like a modded 360 to play them. But anyway, there was one game I wanted on it more than anything else, so I've bought this game even though I can't play it at the moment. So we've got Raiden Fighters Aces, or Raiden Fighters Aces. I really can't wait to play this. I now obviously need a console to play it on. Comes with an Insanity DVD, which I've not watched yet, but I believe they are like a run through, sort of 1cc of the game kind of thing. But then there are 3 Raiden games on the disc. You've got Raiden Fighters, Raiden Fighters 2 and Raiden Fighters Jet. So there are actually 3 games on here. Unfortunately, these 360 shooters, they're all expensive. So I'm not going to be buying a great deal. But if I could just get 1 or 2 a year even, or one every other month or so, I don't know. But anyway, this is the one I wanted more than anything else. There are some others I'd like. I'd like Automedius and Caladrius, I think, next. But primarily, I've got to get myself a console to be able to play it. So I can't show you footage of that one, obviously, because I can't even play it myself. But now I've got the game, at least, you know, I've got to get a console. I'm just a bit torn at the moment whether to get like a native regular Japanese 360 or to get a modded one. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know which way to go at the moment. But I've got to go one way because I want to play that game really quite desperately. And that's all I picked up from there. Really pleased with my purchases. Had a great day. It was great to see everyone I saw. Either people I've met before or people I'd never met before. Like I say, I wish I could have bumped into Dave again because it would have been great to talk to him. But we'll see what happens at the next event, the Black Country Games Fair. So it'll be great to see anybody who's turning up there. But thanks for watching anyway. Hope to see you soon, and sayonara.